Okay, guys, I'm going to make a very quick tutorial for you just to see kind of the process I want you to use for this multiplicity assignment. There is a tutorial here. If you click on this, it'll take you to an external tutorial, but I thought it would be a good idea just to run through this for any students who wanted to kind of get a better sense of how I expect you to do it. Okay, so first of all, we've got some images here. I'm going to open these in a new tab so you can see them both. Okay, they're going to open out of Dropbox. Okay, they look like this. To get them, you don't need to sign in or anything. And if it asks you to sign up for, sometimes a little box appears here and says that you need to sign up or you can sign up. You don't need to. Okay, you just need to go view both images. And then here's a download. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click on, hold on, that. Okay, and both files are going to get saved in my downloads. Okay, once that's happened, you can do both of them. I just want to show you the difference between these images. So if you notice these two here, 1 and 2, this student here, this is what I'm talking about. You don't need this. Okay, this student doesn't interfere at all with himself. Okay, the image is taken on a tripod, so nothing changes from frame to frame except for his position. Okay, and so what's going to happen here is I can just basically mask out this part. In this example here, and here, you can see that this version of the student is kind of physically behind this student's shoulder. Okay, he's sort of peeking over. And so that makes it a little more difficult because you then need to cut out this edge so that you're masking kind of in front of what would be obscured by our first layer. Okay, so that's sort of step one. Let's take a look at how we do this. So I'm going to go and actually open a file. In fact, I've shown you this in class, but just to remind you, I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go Scripts, and I'm going to go Load Files into Stack. Okay, I'm going to go find the files, and the two that I want are in my downloads. So I'm going to go Downloads, which is here, and I'm going to go down to, where are they? Let's see what they're called. Oh, okay. DCS. Okay, I'll grab those two, load them into a stack. Okay, so layer 1, layer 2, so let that finish. Okay, so there's our 2 layers, and you can see nothing changes in the background. It's just our physical placement of this guy. Okay, and then it's really, really simple if you don't have any kind of obstructions. All you're going to do is on the layer in front, you're going to add a mask, okay, which is going to show everything until you kind of hide the part that you want to obscure. So what do I want to obscure? Well, I want to obscure the part here so that I can show his kind of other self coming through. Okay, so I'm going to go to my brush. So if you remember, this is a white mask here, which is showing everything. If I change that to black, it would hide everything. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go to my brush. You can hit D on your keyboard if you want to, and then hit X, okay, which will flip so that the black is in front. I'm going to select a brush from my size slider here. I want the hardness to be 0%. I want a soft edge brush, and my brush should be a bit bigger than that. Okay, and so when I start drawing, I note what's happening here is I'm making a black circle here. Okay, make my brush a bit bigger, and because everything else is exactly the same in the background, all I'm doing here, right, is just showing through what's back there, which is this guy. Okay, so all you're seeing is me drawing through this hole. Okay, and bringing our second character into frame. Okay, and just in case that's not totally clear, I'm just going to move this layer around so you can see. Okay, and so you can see here, all that I'm doing here is just kind of peeking through this black hole at what's behind, which is the second image. Okay, I'm going to delete that later because now it's not aligned, and that's it. That's as easy as this is. Okay, so that's the portion of this that you're going to be using for the multiplicity section of this. The trickier one, in fact, I'll quickly show you, is here. I'm going to download this guy, and I'm going to download this guy. I'm not even sure if these are aligned. Oh, they are. Let's see. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go File. I'm going to go Scripts, Load Files into Stack, Browse. These are going to probably be called the same thing here. These guys here. I'm going to open them. I don't need to attempt to automatically align because I think they are aligned. Okay, so now you can see that, one is in front of the other. So what do I want to do here? Well, I'm going to add a mask, right? And I want to show through what's in the background. So again, brush, black color, right? And so here's where it gets a little tricky. So first of all, I am actually gonna have to move this because it's in the wrong position. So I'm gonna take this guy on this layer here, go to my move tool and move this over, okay? And then keep drawing. Okay, back to my brush tool. So this comes down to planning, right? If you plan this properly and you make sure that you're not gonna get in your own way, right? This makes it a lot easier. But what I've got to do now is I got to zoom in. So I'm going to change to my zoom tool by hitting Z on my keyboard. I'm going to zoom in, excuse me, for my brush, change this to a harder edge, maybe not quite 100%, but maybe 90%, right? And I'm going to basically have to go in and this makes a lot more work for myself. Okay, now this is, it's not hard. It may serve you to do this depending on what your ideas. You may want to sort of interact or interfere, I guess, with yourself in the image. It's going to take you a little longer depending on, like, maybe part of your idea is, based on sort of some interaction between your two characters, okay, or multiple characters, right? And so in some of the examples you saw, there was a car, there was, the girl in the car, right? And so we had to, for that to work, I went a little too far here. Little brush. Okay, oops, I need a soft edge. There. Okay, so in the example on the website, this guy here, right, you're going to need to do a little overlapping if your idea is, purposely for you to be all sharing the same space. And so being thoughtful about that will maybe make it a little easier, but something to consider. Okay, all right, hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and try that and save those files on your computer so that you can show me afterwards you did it and I can, help you with anything that was confusing. All right, good luck.